Welcome everyone to our final new moon of the 2020 year. And this is a Capricorn new moon. And we actually started the year with a Capricorn new moon. It was on January 2nd, 2022. And so I find it interesting that we are ending with this Capricorn energy. And it really is appropriate with everything we're going through. And I'll talk about that in just a minute. So I just want to welcome everyone. If you are new to the call, my name is Jana Grosskost. I am a metaphysical healer. I am a business coach. And this is our last new moon call. I've been doing these for 14 years, and I'll be talking a little bit about how that all got started in a minute and the energy that has sort of like moved us in a different direction. So I'm continuing to help people manifest their goals and dreams. I'm just doing it in a different way. So let's launch into a few slides to help you understand this energy. Whoa, what are you doing? All right, there we go. All right, so Capricorn new moon, new year, right? We're getting ready for the new year next week. And there is a lot of new you energy. So we've been going through some major transformations, and I'll talk about those with Pluto in just a minute. But let's talk a little bit about Capricorn and what sort of characteristics we are working with right now. So Capricorn is the mountain goat, or is the sea goat also, because it does have the fin in the sea, but it is our last earth sign in the astrology year. So this is a place where we come into mastery. This is where our careers are. This is where we leave our legacy. This is about climbing a mountain and making that steady progress. And it's easy to think, okay, well, yeah, there's times that I make progress, and then there's times that I like tumble back 3 or 4 steps. And that's part of the process, because as we are upgrading our physical circuitry, then sometimes we fall back into old patterns. It's just normal and natural to gravitate towards what we know. And so that's why it is difficult for us to break through old patterns without being mindful. We have a tendency to just go and gravitate to whatever is our normal and natural. So Capricorn is about taking practical action. It is tactical. It is disciplined. It helps you get the results by following each one of the tasks that are necessary. It is very ambitious, and it helps you be persistent. So whatever house this is falling in for you, think about these characteristics. We'll call them in when we go through the meditation tonight. And, just remind yourself that this next 28-day cycle is about making steady progress. So this new moon is taking place at 5:16 tomorrow morning. This is Eastern time, so it's 2:16 on the West Coast where I'm at. So just set your intentions either tonight or first thing in the morning. Maybe just take a breath, tune into the moment, and write about whatever you're inspired by. We are literally in a space of opening up a new slate. There is so much new energy, not only with astrology that's shifting, but new energies that are coming in, supporting us with our emotional healing and our personal growth. So just be mindful. This new moon will help you anchor your goals into physical form and bring them into physical fruition. This is a time of getting grounded. So spending time in nature, going for a walk in nature, go out and hug a tree, go shovel the driveway, whatever helps you feel grounded and anchored and connected with the earth. That will support you in actually manifesting your goals this time. So I'm calling this new moon building, and this is about building your future. And Capricorn takes all of the goals that you set with the Sagittarius energy and the direction that you want to move, and it really helps you see what it looks like in physical form and move those into your physical future. So just be mindful about what goals you're setting. This is a great time. I mean, the end of the year, great time for review. Where have you been? since the last year? What have you been going through? What lessons have you learned? What have you grown and evolved from? What patterns are you healing from? What breakthroughs have you had? What have you transformed? And you can look at it month by month and just sort of look at things and just assess where you're at in the bigger scheme of things. But I always like to look back and say, okay, this is where I was a year ago. Wow, look where I'm at today. And I'll actually share an exercise that I went through with this whole Pluto energy that's been insane. So we have a stellium of planets in Capricorn at this time. We have Pluto, which is, Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. And Pluto is all about transformation. So Pluto is there, Mercury is there, Venus is there, obviously the sun and moon are at 1 degree. Pluto is at, I think, 27 degrees, almost at 28 degrees, and Mercury and Venus are in the middle there. So there's a lot of restructuring that we've been going through, and these 5 planets are supporting you to continue to eliminate anything that's superfluous. It's helping you with restructuring. With Mercury in here, you may be communicating new ideas, new values, new vision of where you're going. You're also getting an upgrade with Venus in here, helping you restructure what you love, aligning with your values, and inspiring your creativity. And then the sun and moon, these are all about initiating. So Capricorn is a cardinal sign, and cardinal signs are all about initiating something new. So we've got the sun and moon at 1 degree. So we basically have another 27 degree or 28 degrees as it goes through this cycle. And this is a full cycle. And in fact, the next couple of full moons, I think the next 4 full moons are all at 1 degree. And this is a super moon, so it may feel more intense. With a super moon, the sun has a stronger gravitational pull on, or the moon has a stronger gravitational pull on the earth, which makes it feel more emotional, more turmoil coming up. There may be more intensity. There may be, emotions that are heightened. So just take that into account as we're stepping into a time where maybe you're spending more time with family and friends, that there may be things that are triggering you. And these are opportunities for you to take a breath, take a beat, step into the moment with patience, and maybe asking yourself, what am I learning from this situation? Because when we can take that objective perspective, you'll be less emotionally attached to what's going on. So I want to talk a little bit about Pluto, because Pluto has been restructuring us for a long time. Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. It will be leaving in early part of next year, but it will be, with a few retrogrades next year. It won't officially be out of Capricorn until 2024. So when you look back, Pluto is taking you on this journey. It sort of lays out the journey and where you're going. And of course, we can resist it and we can kind of, try to avoid it. But in the long run, Pluto's going to win. And it's not that it's transforming us in a bad way. In fact, it's clearing away stuff that no longer serves us. So it is very healthy for whatever we are being challenged with at this time, or during this whole time period since 2008, that Pluto brings us closer to our true nature. So if you think about, Pluto has an over, 236-year cycle, something like that. But it was last in Capricorn in 1762 through 1778. That's when this new, United States was created. So think about all that transformation that was taking place to actually create a new country. And now we're in this upheaval again of, okay, well, we've sort of mastered where we were in that Plutonian cycle. Now, where are we going next? And that's the upgrade that we're in. We're in this place of, clearing away what no longer serves us and supporting us in raising our vibration and supporting us in our ascension. So if we look at the restructure physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, your sense of authority, all of the things have been upgraded over the last 14 years and through 2023. So if you think about 2008 is when we experienced one of the worst financial crises that has ever taken place in history. And, you know, it's not us personally that's just getting transformed. Governments are getting transformed, institutions, companies, everything is impacted by astrology. So if you can take a step back from where your life was 14 years ago and how you have been restructured, you may feel really weary at this time. Think of a night at the end of a battle, right? Coming home from war, you feel weary, you're exhausted, you just want to take a shower, get a hot meal and go to bed. And you may be feeling that way. And I want you to do that. Like self-care is so vital right now because collectively we have been impacted by this Plutonian energy for a long period. And it has been really supporting us in our growth and evolution. So I kind of took a step back and I was looking at this restructuring and what took place in my life from 2008 until now. Well, in 2008, I started New Moon Manifesting. I started the blog and the master classes. And it's like, okay, well, how did this change my life? Well, it changed my life in a lot of ways. First of all, we built an amazing community that I absolutely love. And it's been a real challenge thinking about transitioning out of this. But there are other ways that you can still stay involved with me. So don't fear that this is over, right? Astrology, teaching people about astrology has taught me to understand it on a deeper level. In the past, maybe I would just look at a chart or something and kind of glance over things. But anytime you're teaching something, you really have to dive into it a bit more. And because of that, it has transformed my perspective on how the planets are working together. It's helped me realize the impermanence of any situation. Like you could be sky high and things are going fantastic, but this too shall pass. And you could be in the lowest steps of hell, and yet this too shall pass, right? Like everything comes back to an equilibrium. Then we go through these highs and lows again. So it's all a part of the process. And so astrology has really helped me transform, how I see the world and how I interact with the planets. And just in reviewing them, I can see, oh, I've got Mars going through such and such right now. It's no wonders I'm so agitated, right? Like it helps me understand myself a bit better. Now, also although I got married in 2007, so Pluto would have been in Sagittarius, which totally makes sense, right? Right? It's going to be the life of the party. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have this amazing marriage. And yet 2008 hit and it was just like everything fell apart, right? Like this person, my husband, was the reflector of everything that I needed to heal. Every possible thing that I needed to heal took place during this Pluto restructuring. I got divorced we separated in 2015, got divorced officially in 2016, but every time something would come up, I would look at that situation and instead of getting upset, it's like, oh, he's reflecting what I need to heal. He was literally a mirror to me. So there was this huge healing, emotional restructuring that was taking place. Also financially, I think I taught 9 different classes on mastering money. And now I'm dialing it in. With my new book, I talk a little bit about that, but there's another book coming out that will talk more about mastering money and your relationship with it. So I just wanted to give you these examples so that you can kind of look at your own life during this 14-year period. What has been restructured? It could be career, where maybe you've completely stepped out of a different career and into a new one. And they may have been forced. You may have been forced out of that career, but you didn't love it. It wasn't aligned with who you really are. And so by understanding some of those elements, you'll understand yourself better. So the good news is, well, where are we going? Well, Pluto is going to be moving into Aquarius in 2023. and it will be there actually for 20 years. So we actually caught a break with it only being in Capricorn for basically 15 years. Because in Capricorn, I mean, it can feel like somebody's got their thumb on you all the time. So if you can relate to that, just know that you're not alone. Now in Aquarius, Aquarius is the rebellion. It is the revolutionary. Think of the Uranian energy. So with the Uranus energy, this is reshaping. Pluto is reshaping humanity. And that includes groups that we're in. There may be groups that are falling out of your life that you're not aligned with. There may be new people, new groups of people that are coming into your life that are supporting you. We may see a lot of transitions that are taking place in technology. The way that we have seen things may not be the truth, right? It was our truth because that's all we knew to that point, but there will be changes that take place in technology, in things like physics and those types of things. So if you think about it with Pluto, anything that's rotten that we need to eliminate from our lives will be removed with this Pluto energy. So it's going to really set us up for looking at ourselves and how we view the world and how we view our place in the world. Like, where do I fit in? And who are the people that I fit in with? And we will gravitate more strongly towards those people. So spend some time thinking about where you've been for the past 15 years and just recognize that, there's going to be restructuring. We're always in a place of restructuring. It's a part of our growth and evolution. So, don't go into this with resistance or frustration, but just recognize that it's part of the process. Some of the other areas we may see huge transitions in, such as social media. We're already seeing that with Twitter and, what's taking place with Elon Musk and that. There's decentralization that may be taking place and just a complete restructuring in societies, groups, and organizations. So we could see even a shift in how this country operates. So just know that as part of the process, don't go into fear and, shut down because of some of these transitions, but recognize it's part of our growth and evolution. So one of the questions that I want to ask you, because a lot of you have been with me for a long time, so you can either drop a comment in the chat. I'd love to read what you have to say, or at the end you can share with me, but what have you found most valuable with working with New Moon Manifesting and or with me, right? Like I'm so focused on helping people manifest their goals and dreams. And that's why I started this whole blog and the masterclass. To manifest, we have to be energetically aligned with what it is that we want. So if we want more money, we have to be energetically aligned with receiving more, right? So that could be upgrading your value system. For example, if you have family patterns that believe that, I can never make more than $60,000 a year, then you're right. You'll never make more than $60,000 a year. So we need to clear those energetic blocks. And I'm actually going to be doing some 3-day challenges in the new year about money and clearing blocks so that people can receive more abundance. So obviously astrology is a big part of what I've been doing with New Moon, and I'm going to continue to support people in manifesting. In fact, I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to help people manifest the life of their dreams. And I've been doing this obviously for 14 years with this venue, but I have a new one. So with New Moon Manifesting, we would meet once a month and you would have the opportunity to focus on your goals that related to astrology. And instead of once a month, I've actually increased the frequency. So we created this program called Sunday Strategy for Momentum Monday. And we meet every single Sunday, and all of these sessions are recorded and they are published in a private members area. But we talk about what your wins are for the week. We give you time to write down what your goals, what are the top 3 things that you're working on each week? what are the action steps that you need to take every single week so that you can achieve them? And when you can actually focus on your goals every single week, let alone every single day, as well as knowing, what action steps you need to take every single day, you're going to move the needle forward, right? Like, I've been doing strategic planning for companies for ever, 35 years, and I help people build amazing 6- and 7-figure businesses. And I'm bringing all of that information on a personal level. So whether you're working on your personal goals or your professional goals or your business goals, Sunday Strategy for Momentum Monday is a great place to land. We meet every single Sunday, like I said, 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. Pacific time. And the first month is free if you sign up by December 31st. And the code is gift for you. So write that down, and it will be in the email that I send out. And I will pop something in the chat when I open up the chat in just a minute. But I just want you to know that I am not abandoning you, even though this is our last and final New Moon Masterclass. There are other ways to stay connected. And if you're in Momentum Monday, or if you're on my Goddesspreneur list, you will be receiving ongoing emails. I will have classes from time to time that will relate to astrology. I do have one coming up. I was going to do it on December 28th, and I may postpone until later. I've got a lot of stuff coming up the first couple of weeks in January. So I may postpone that one until later in January, early part of February. But it's about how to use astrology to find your unique purpose. So let's get back to this new moon and some of the astrology that we've got going on. This will help you understand yourself when you pull your own astrology birth chart and discover which house this is falling in for you. So with this chart, the new moon is at 1 degree. It's actually in the first house for this person. You would look at the little numbers in the middle. Those are the houses. But we also have, like I said, a stellium of planets, which means there's 5 planets in Capricorn. The sun and moon in this chart are in the first house, but we have Pluto, Mercury, and Venus that are in the second house. So find where that is for you. That will help you in setting your goals and intentions. And I'll pull up a little chart that helps you, gives you a framework of how to do that. In addition to this new moon taking place at 1 degree, I want to point out that we have this square that's taking place with Jupiter. Now, squares are usually contentious. There's usually things we can't see. There may be obstacles that we have to overcome. And Jupiter is at 0 degrees of Aries. So it has been retrograde, and it has just recently gone back into forward motion. So Jupiter was actually at this degree earlier this year. Jupiter is all about luck. It's about expansion. And in Aries, Aries is the first sign of the astrology wheel. There is a lot of newness that's taking place, right? So there's a lot of expansion around who am I? What am I doing here? What am I doing in the world? And instead of this being a contentious square, I actually see it as that these planets working together. Like Jupiter is really expanding the vision that you've got with the sun and the moon. So again, discovering where the sun and moon is your chart, and then kind of like amplifying it with the Jupiter energy, that's going to help you propel yourself into this new year with creating the flow that you want to see. Now, in addition to that square, we have a couple of supportive, let's see, the Uranus trine with Venus. So Uranus is in Taurus and Venus is in Capricorn. Uranus is all about sudden changes. It's about revolution. It's the rebellion. So if you're breaking out of old patterns, it may be helping you align with what you love, right? So sometimes we get caught in, just think of it like, oh, I'm caught in this mental pattern of I got to do X, Y, and Z every single day to get to my end result. And Uranus comes in, it's like, no. you need to do A, B, and C because that's actually going to get you to the next step. And so be open to whatever these transitions that are taking place because it will support you in making sure that you are aligned with your heart and following whatever your values are. Now we also have Chiron. Chiron is here in Aries, and it is at a sextile to Mars. And Mars is retrograde right now, and Mars retrograde in Gemini is not very happy. It's a frustrated Mars, right? Like it can't get things going. It's got all these ideas and it's feeling stuck and kind of like pulled through the mud. But just recognize that, you know, with Chiron here, you may be seeing new ways of healing yourself. There may be new opportunities opening up around discovering, you know, specific wounds that you need to resolve so that you can move forward. It can be your personal belief system. It can be family patterns. We just don't see it because we're so entrenched in it. And so calling upon your guides and your ancestors to support you and seeing your truth will help you in breaking out of these old patterns. Then next we have Mercury and Neptune. And these two guys are also at a sextile. So think about, and Neptune in Pisces is all about dreaming. It's about clearing out self-imposed prisons. So if you have belief systems that are holding you back, then Neptune is going to help you get to the heart of what those are. It's also helping you visualize a new future. So tuning into your dreams, your daydreams, like what would the ultimate goal be? If you could have anything in the world, what does that look like? And when you can tune into that, that will support you in communicating those goals because that's where Mercury comes in. And especially in Capricorn, it's like, all of a sudden you'll have this grand vision and Mercury is going to be like, I'm going to shout from the rooftops that this is what I want to do. And it will really support you in finding the right resources because Capricorn is very resourceful. It's helping you find the right opportunities, the right people, whatever it is. But just, you know, write down things as they're coming up because that will support you in really moving you forward towards the ultimate vision that you're looking for. And then the last thing I want to mention in this chart is Saturn has finally moved forward. It has been, you know, retrograde off and on this year and in an ongoing square with Uranus, but we have finally broken out of that pattern. It is moving out of Aquarius and into Pisces in 2023. So I'm already ready for 2024. Let's just skip 2023, right? So as you can see, there's these big, massive planets that transform us and completely change our lives. And these guys are moving into new areas of our chart, into new energies. It's going to shift us personally and shift us collectively. So just by knowing this, this will support you in moving forward without, you know, frustration or kind of wondering what's going on or feeling victimized. So when you know what is where this is taking place for you, I've got this chart. I'll post a similar chart in the Facebook group or on the Facebook page, and I'll also pop it. It's on my blog post also, a New Moon Manifesting. So with the chart that I pulled, first house, it's drawing on your resources, major transformation related to, you know, restructuring your life. Does anybody know where this is taking place for you? You can go ahead and unmute and just shout stuff out. I'm going to open the chat and see what's in there.
I know.
Yes.
I came prepared today.
You did.
I'm moving my fifth house.
It's in your fifth?
I'm a Pisces, Pisces girl. And so I don't know. I literally today I was thinking, you know what, I need to be more childlike. I've had these thoughts of like being childlike, etc., blah, blah, to enjoy life in other times.
Love it.
I'm a Leo rising. So this all makes kind of sense. But I did have a Saturn transit like in my sixth house for the longest time. so the health stuff, routines and blah, 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 it's still there. But
Yeah,
I want
we
to,
have a
but I
similar
want to
chart
let loose
because
a bit this month. Okay, I just want to. It's just sucky. I want it to be over with.
right? Yeah. But I love that you're already thinking that you want to be more playful and creative and, childlike, and tuning into your childhood dreams, and those types of things will help you. Just staying curious. The more curious we can be in
Yes, the
life.
curiosity,
Yeah.
especially about like spirituality, like things like, angels and guides and like, what's that? And just instead of just going into skepticism, I'm just like, all right, be a child, be curious, all this stuff, and it's worked
Right.
wonders,
And
right?
take what works and discount what doesn't. And who knows, as you grow and evolve, other things may be relevant, but you just take what you can in the moment.
One more thing. Yeah, that's very great advice. I'm trying to do that every day.
Fantastic.
It's like I actually, when the horoscopes, when the moon is in this placement, it actually told me to wear new clothes, and I actually received new clothes, and it's actually for the gym. I'm actually heading to the gym after this.
Oh, nice.
Like I said about the health stuff.
That's perfect.
It's like, it's just so funny. But
I love them.
But it's just like, I'm just wondering what that stellium in my fifth house would actually do for me in the next couple of days. Is it like supercharged in the fifth house? What does that mean?
Yeah, so everything's going to be supercharged. So, if things are getting tense, then I definitely take a step back and be playful, like dancing around or doing something out of the norm will definitely help you not get pulled into any drudgery. So just recognize that, that will help you.
Yeah. Thank you.
I can't read the chat over there. All right. Thank you for sharing. All right. Who else knows where this is at?
It's been snowing really heavily, but I'm still getting my butt to the gym. The only thing that's inspiring me is literally my new outfit.
I love it.
I'm a fish out of water at the gym. Okay. This, at least, with this on, it's like my armor. At least I look like I belong there. Like I know what I'm doing, because they don't.
Yeah.
Like, Jim, what's that? Usually.
I love it. Perfect. Well, thank you for
Pisces.
sharing. All right, Devin, I see your hand is raised, my dear.
Natally, Capricorn is in my 7th house.
Okay. So relationships, partnerships.
Seems like probably a lot of that activity in the 8th house has been pretty active for some reason too, but I know for the last, and I find it really interesting because these last few years, my Capricorn friends, it's been really challenged, I think, because it's in opposing so much stuff that's in my 12th and 1st house.
Right.
And it just felt like that type of opposition was going on with friends. I'd like to think of it as restructuring, but I've pretty much feel like I've been through a lot of loss with Capricorn friends in this period of time, like long-term friends. So it's kind of a interesting dynamic with it. I would like to think of it as new coming in.
Yeah. But I understand that. I mean, I've seen that with my own life, right? With we just start gravitating away from people that may not vibe with us or resonate with us. And I just find that we end up with fewer close friends, but they're better relationships. So, don't go into what have I lost, but who am I gaining as a result? Right?
I'll look forward to that then. I'm not seeing it yet, Jana.
Hey, we've got me and you've got an E. Like, you didn't know us a couple of years ago.
Right,
So
right.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on. We're enough to handle right there.
Yes. And then with Pluto going into Aquarius, that's my my whole 8th house. So these next 20 years,
What a
will be,
transformation.
be definitely an interesting cycle.
Mhm. Yeah. I know it's hard to predict. It's always nice to kind of like look at it as you're going. And a 20-year cycle is such a long period. When I wrote down the dates, I was like, 2043? What? I mean, I remember
Yeah.
when Pluto went into Capricorn and was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be there for 14, 15 years. We'll never
Yeah.
make it. And here we are, right? Like we survived, we're thriving, we're stepping out of it, and we're really moving into a much lighter energy. So if you, like I said earlier, if you feel like you've just been like suppressed and held back in a lot of capacities, just realize that that's going to lighten up when we move into the Aquarius energy. Yes. Anyone else know what this is in?
Hey, Janet, it's Kristen.
Hi, Kristen.
It is in my 6th and 7th house. So the new moon is
It's
transiting
in
my
the
6th
sixth.
house with the
Yeah.
sun, and then everything else is in 7th.
Yeah. So in 6th house, this is all about getting back to healthy habits, health routines, going to doctors, getting into minute details. Maybe if you've got a project going on, this is a time to really fine tune the details. And then the 7th house, that's about partnerships, relationships, finding equality and balance. Those types of things have been where Pluto is really grinding on right now. So just recognize you're like, praise Lord Jesus, that part's over.
Well, yeah, that's what I was just thinking. So when you say Pluto is grinding on it, but Pluto's about to move out of it. So that actually makes sense if it's in the 7th house, like closing out the last 10 years. And, this talk of losing friends or like transitioning, like I've done a lot of transitioning in the last 10 years, away from some people, bringing in some new people, and mostly
Precisely.
like, building a better relationship with myself, actually, is probably the greatest.
Name of the game right there, right? Like
Yeah.
create the relationship with yourself, and then you'll have the relationship with the right people.
Yeah. So the 6th house, you started with the healthy habits, but on that chart I saw it's talking about work. And that is just resonating for me that it's probably more focused in work than the healthy habits. So it could be healthy habits of work structure,
Absolutely.
right?
It's the daily work habits that you have to do, and it can be the daily health habits.
Okay.
And so just recognize that, it's like, well, what do I have to get done every single day? Or what do I have to do? What are the tasks that I have to do? Or what minute details? It's about dotting the I's and crossing all the T's. So there may be minute details that need to be taken care of. Maybe that's why I brought up, if you've got a project that you're working on, that this is a time to really dive into the details of it and not avoid it, like really embrace that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. What's your rising? What is the sign on the far left of your chart, Grace? Do you know what that is?
On the far left,
Yes.
it just says AC.
Okay, it has ascendant, and then there's a little ring that has the
Oh.
symbols in it. What's the symbol?
Oh gosh. It is Saturn.
No, it's got to be one of the astrology signs.
Oh, that sign. It is, that's Capricorn. No, wait, Aries, Pisces, Aquarius.
Okay, so it sounds, if it's Aquarius, then the new moon is like just behind it, it's in the 12th house.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so I mean, it could be 11th and 12th if there's a split, but most likely it's going to be in your 12th house. So,
It is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is about ending a cycle. So this is really, when we move actually into Aquarius, that will be kind of your new year. Like I always feel like the ascendant is my new year, because you're starting all of the houses over once you hit your ascendant point, right?
Okay.
So
Mhm.
with this in your 11th or 12th houses, this is about seeing completion or wrapping up loose ends in some area of your life, seeing the growth that you've gone through, seeing any limitations, you know, like what do you want to leave behind? And
Oh
what are
my
you willing to
God.
take forward?
Yes. Well, you're hitting it right on the head. Yes, without knowing anything more. Totally. Yeah, thank you.
See, and that's what I love about astrology. Often we're in tune with the energies, but we may not always know what it is. And then when
Mhm.
somebody points this out to you, you're like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I've been doing. So just recognize that that's a part of this process.
Yeah, it's validating, and it's it's just corroborating what I've been feeling. So I feel like I am being guided or assisted, like you just said. So that's cool. Thank you.
Fantastic. I love that. Thanks, Grace. Thanks for bringing that up.
Thank you.
Jane, it's delightful to see you.
It's great to see you. Congratulations on all your accomplishments this year with your book and books. I've been reading, I've been loving your new book.
Thank you.
So good
Thank
for you.
you.
I'm very, very proud of you. That's
I didn't
wonderful.
even mention that. Two other things that have restructured, published 2 books in the last 14 years, actually
Yeah,
less than that,
there
in the
you
last
go.
5 years. But
There you go.
yes,
Listen,
I love
quick
it.
question. I'm sorry for joining late. I always love to see you, but I'm always, again, I just like to align where my houses are with the Capricorn New Moon. So you've done my chart. A quick question. Do you have any idea
Yeah,
what,
and I don't remember
house
off the
I'm
top
in?
of my head where it is. I mean, I look at so
No.
many charts. What is your ascendant? Do you know?
My ascendant, my sun is Aquarius. My ascendant is Leo. And you told me in
Then you're going to be
August
close to
18th,
where
I was
I am.
starting a new year.
Yeah, so it's either going to be 5th or 6th house for you, depending on
That's-
where.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it might be a bit of both because I'm kind of on the cusp.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
my birthday's on the cusp.
Exactly. So, like going back to 5th house, about having fun, about being childlike, tuning into childlike wonder, curiosity, being heart-centered, maybe even doing things with children, you know,
Yeah.
getting out and making a snowman or playing in the snow, but using that creativity to really fire you up, that will help you.
Fabulous. And what's the 6th?
6th house, like I was talking about with Kristen, it's about the daily tasks you need to do, the healthy habits, the minute details. It could be related to your work. It could be related to your health, but it's kind of like pulling you back into healthy habits. You know, think of summertime when we kind of like get up late or go to bed late or whatever it is, like we kind of get out of a routine. And with the 6th house, it's like, oh, I need to get back on track. Kind of like, oh, I started school and now I've got to, you know, get up at such and such time and I've got to do these certain things to get my day going. So this may be helping you reconnect with whatever those daily healthy habits are. And by January, for sure, right?
Yeah.
Like tuning into, okay, what is it that I want to achieve and what will support me in getting to where I want to be?
Great. I've got got tons of great business opportunities too. So I think it's like balancing the personal with the professional so the professional can happen, you know,
Absolutely.
seamlessly. But thank you for that. You know what, you're
Absolutely.
full of wisdom and warmth, and thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we'll take one more if anyone else knows where this is. I receive so much from you in this program. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ani. I do want to point out a couple more things before we go into meditation, just quickly. All right, I mentioned the houses. So self-care, I always have to bring up self-care because it's a reminder that nobody else is going to take care of you, that you have to take care of you. And sometimes that can be as easy as setting an alarm several times a day or every hour to just take a few deep breaths. Take a beat, breathe in deeply, fill your lungs. You'll feel much calmer, more relaxed, have more oxygen going to your brain, and you'll be able to make better decisions and get more work done. So make sure that you are breathing. With empowerment, make sure you're honoring your inner authority. If you're feeling like you need to say no, then say no. If you're feeling like you don't want to hang out with somebody, then don't hang out with them, right? Like this is about you honoring your intuition, honoring that inner authority, trusting your gut instincts, and setting and maintaining those healthy boundaries. And then finally, Capricorn is a highly intuitive spiritual connector. It helps you in connecting with your higher self. It helps you in following your inner guidance to really discover your divine purpose and path. So make sure that you're taking time to tune into your guides and the messages that you're receiving. And then as far as essential oils, frankincense is one of my favorite for both the Sagittarius and Capricorn energy. Capricorn embraces the divine masculine energy, and frankincense supports us in balancing the true masculine energy, the divine masculine, not just masculine energy, but the divine masculine. So recognize that we are all, feminine and masculine energy, and whatever we can do to balance that will support us in so many elements of our lives. Sandalwood helps you enhance your spiritual connection and opening up your third eye so that you're receiving divine downloads and able to decipher what those downloads are and what you're supposed to do with them. And then cypress is one of my favorite oils to move stagnant energy. On an emotional level, it helps move things along quickly. On a physical level, it helps release excess fluids and move, fluids out of your body. If you need information about this, please email me with the, just reply to the email that I send, and we can talk about oils and all the other amazing things. Like I have lost close to 8 pounds in the last 6 weeks from doTERRA's new metabolic system, and I've been struggling for the past 5 years with this. So to finally have a product that allows me to eat what I want has made a huge difference in my metabolism. And then finally, I want to mention that the new year is a year number 7, and the number 7 brings in the energy of the planet Neptune. So it's highly imaginative, creative, intuitive. This number 7 supports you with your spiritual growth, with pursuing mystic elements, with understanding the truth, right? It's not that just your truth, but it's understanding the truths of nature, because we are all bound by these elemental truths of nature. This number 7 energy will support you in bringing in wholeness within your body. So aligning mind, body, and spirit. It supports you in releasing obstacles, and it is also the number associated with ascension. And lastly, I just want to thank you all for being here tonight and for participating in our new moon calls, and just want to wish you an amazing new moon, new year, new you, all that good stuff. So let's go through a short meditation, and then I'll open up the lines for any final questions. Catch my breath. All right, get comfortable. Go ahead and close your eyes. And if you can, take one or both of your hands over your heart and take a deep breath, breathing all the way down to your belly. And as you exhale, release any tension you're holding in your neck, your shoulders. Maybe wiggle your shoulders around a little bit. Circle your head. This time of the year, we can get so tense. Breathe in deeply all the way down to your belly. And as you exhale, release any tension you're holding in the mid-body, your abdomen, your mid and low back. Just feeling everything release. You're in a space that's safe and protected. Continue to breathe deeply and rhythmically, tuning into your body, into your breath. tracing your breath with each breath you take in and each breath you release. Focusing on the breath helps you tune out the monkey mind and get into a place where your heart's centered and connected. Honoring yourself in this moment. And imagine that your guides and ancestors are encircling you at this time. That they're making a big circle around you, and you're either standing or sitting up in the middle of the circle. And they're projecting unconditional love to you. And just allow yourself to be open and receive. Allow your heart to be open to receive this love. There's no judgment. There's nothing but love in this moment. And you just allow yourself to absorb and receive all of the love that's being projected at you now. And imagine that you and your guides, your ancestors, are going on a hike, and you're hiking up this mountain. And you're watching the trail in front of you, calculating each step, climbing over rocks. And just notice what's taking place around you. Notice if there's trees around you and what type of trees are there. Notice if there's birds around you and what type of birds you have. And continue to walk up the mountain, traversing. Being attuned to nature. And as you're walking up the mountain, you're feeling this sense of peace and calmness. There's a knowingness that you have all of the resources that you need to continue up the mountain and achieve your goals. And there may be certain milestones that you achieve as you're hiking up this hill that are boosting your confidence, encouraging you to keep going, helping you to take consistent and persistent action. And your guides are supporting you in lightening your load. You may feel like you're literally floating up the mountain. Helping you achieve your ultimate goals, your highest destiny. And through this process, it's supporting you in mastering yourself, in creating your unique legacy. And as you're hiking up this hill, this is a walking meditation. Think about the goals that you want to set with the Capricorn New Moon. And as you think about those goals, take a breath each time you think about your goal into your heart. Planting those seeds within your heart. Honoring your divinity in this moment. That you're receiving the gifts of Capricorn, of ambition, persistence, consistency, discipline. That you're being supported in self-mastery. And imagine what it feels like when you achieve your ultimate goals. You're climbing closer and closer to the top of the mountain. You feel yourself achieving this goal. And as you get to the top of the mountain, tune in to what it feels like when you achieve this goal. And what other sensations do you have in your body? What are you smelling? What are you hearing around you? Are there people that are cheering you on? Is it nature that's cheering you on? Anchor this feeling within your heart when you achieve your ultimate goals. And at this point, your entire support system of guides and ancestors have made it to the top of the hill with you. And you're standing in the circle and they're circling around you. And you're walking around the circle and they're all high-fiving you. You did it. You made it. You accomplished your goals and dreams. And feel that elation and enthusiasm you have. And know that you're carrying this energy, this contagious enthusiasm within your heart. And anytime you feel bogged down or can't figure out how to take the next step, tune in to how this made you feel now. And your guides and ancestors come around you and everyone is squishing together to give you this huge celebratory hug, honoring you, celebrating your divinity. You literally can take a breath. You know you've made it. This is giving you the courage and confidence to step into any new big, bold goal. And see yourself and your guides and ancestors walking back down the hill. A big smile comes across your face. You can't help it because you literally feel so accomplished. And as you reach the bottom of the hill, you high-five your guides and angels again, expressing gratitude to them for this opportunity. Expressing gratitude to your higher self. And most importantly, express gratitude to yourself for taking this time and honoring your divinity. Begin to bring yourself out of this activity, wiggling your fingers and toes. And quickly write down anything that you want to remember Any feelings that you want to expand on? Any messages or other insight that you received? Write it down quickly before you forget. And when you feel your processing is open, go ahead and open your eyes. I'm just reading some of the comments now that I finally got a chance. Narsha, great to see you. Thanks for joining us. Kristen, we love having you in this community. Ayana, I'm so glad that you found us. Yeah, it has been a nurturing, safe place. Oh, thanks, Sunny. Love the community rituals, learning about astrology and specific uses of doTERRA oils. I love it. Does anything interesting come up during that meditation or anything anyone wants to share before we officially stop recording?
I heard birds. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, I love it. Yes, I heard birds too.
That is so cool.
Wait, what kind of birds? What kind of birds did y'all have? I saw all kinds of interesting birds. I was like, where are you guys coming from?
I feel like it was like tropical rainforest birds. It wasn't just the typical ones that you hear, which I love the way they sound, the typical birds, but it sounded like rainforest birds.
I love it. I'll take rainforest birds. Tiff, what kind of birds did you hear?
It started with toucans and then it went to cockatoos and
Okay,
cockatoos.
so you both are.
Yeah.
Wow.
Someone in the chat said crows, and I'm like, oh, that is so cool because crows are really cool because they like are so smart.
They're so smart.
And
Yes.
they like, yeah, they're very community oriented.
Yes.
So I thought that was cool. And someone said hummingbirds. Oh my God, that's so cool.
I know, I heard hummingbirds too. Dominique.
How did you guys hear birds? I got a rock. Like I was walking up the mountain and then
You're
was
looking
like,
at the rock. We're watching the birds. I love it.
Yeah, I
You
did
know,
too.
it's whatever's important, right? So maybe you just needed to be more grounded.
I mean, I was walking up and the rocks were like coming down. You know how almost like an avalanche with snow, but like rocks it was like a rocks fall. But they were like they were beside me, like they couldn't hit me. They were just coming down the mountain. But I did hear people cheer for me, like, go, Dominique, go. And
I
then
love it.
you know, my meditations always switches like blurbs of things. And I saw myself giving birth to a baby I've been holding on to for forever. And I was like, oh my God, thank you. Finally, it's out of me. So that was nice.
I love it. So the other interesting thing that because I never know what's going to come up during meditation. I just sort of like talk whatever comes up. But I was going to give a cue for the trees, and then it's like, no, let them decide what tree comes up. So what did y'all notice when I said trees? Anything specific? Nope.
Just
Okay.
lush.
Cypress trees. We got Kristen with cypress. I don't know what a
Conifers.
cypress
I
tree
agree,
looks
Tiff.
like.
It was definitely like I don't know, it's like rainforest vibes, you know? Yeah, it definitely was.
Green and lush. Italian countryside. Okay, I'm going with you. After seeing Florence for Decorated for Christmas, it's like I am going next year. Tall evergreens, love that. Yeah, I saw pine trees at first, and then there were a bunch of aspen trees. But yeah. Anything else interesting come up during meditation, or anything else you want to bring up? All right.
I
Well, I'm
wanna
going to
bring
close
up
out.
The sense of anticipation is the most beautiful thing. Like you're nearly at the top. You're nearly there. That's really
Oh,
exciting.
right. Yeah, I
And
thought that
then
was
when
very
you actually
powerful.
get there, you can barely believe it. And then I can finally say, I have arrived. I have arrived. That's really what I want
Yes, you have arrived.
for this moment.
I love
This
it.
personal fulfillment, you know, this
Oh,
is the
there
thing that
is.
I'm longing for. So yeah, it means a lot to
Definitely.
me.
I love that. Anyone else?
Gina?
Sundays are already have been going for the last 3 months. So it's an ongoing program, Grace. So this Sunday, we're actually doing a Monday at 1
12.
p.m. Thanks to like 1 p.m. Eastern,
Yep.
10 a.m. Pacific. So we're starting this Monday and then we'll do Sunday the 1st. So we'll actually be going January 1st too.
That is so cool.
Okay.
I know. I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh, you can't make this stuff up. Right?
Gina,
Like when I look at the calendar, it's like, oh, that's why it has to go. Yeah.
Gina, would
So-
you do you mind if I just say one thing about it? Because I'm so excited.
Yes.
Because-
Let me pop me
Okay.
off.
Well, I just want us to be recorded because I just want to let people know, like, okay, so I'm lucky that I've been a part of this and I didn't want to be late today, but part of the reason was because I was accomplishing goals that I had set and things were coming together. And so that's why I just think there's something so magical about the communities that you're bringing together. So that's why I wanted to say, I think it's so awesome that you've got this cool place we can go and you're offering a complimentary month just to check it out. And that's really cool. And I just wanted to say thank you because up until meeting you, I just wasn't into goals. I just thought they just never come true. I just thought, what's the point? They never come true for me. So I'm not going to set goals and then I won't be disappointed. And I'm really glad that you've guided me in an entirely different direction. And now the possibilities, and it's so much fun. So I just wanted to say thank you and I love you.
Oh, thank you. I love you too. And I have to say, Narsha, I know you're in London. I'm just going to say thank you for my class is the only one that she will stay up and it's 2 a.m.
Thank
now.
you. It's
Like,
been well
holy
worth it.
cow.
Thank you so much.
Biggest hearts out
Love
to
you.
girl. Wow. Love it. Elena is also in the group and I loved what she said. She, after 3 weeks, she's like, I have had more miracles because we not only talk about, you know, what we're working on every week, because we have kind of the practical side of things, but we also set ourselves up with a weekly miracle, right? Like if there's something that you've got to have or got to do or need support on, then you set that up in your weekly miracle. And Elena was talking about how many miracles she has had going on since she joined our Sunday strategy.
It's true. It's amazing. So I love it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you do have questions about anything that I've talked about, respond to the email, reach out to me and we can definitely chat more about it. And I'll send all the details about this in that email too, so that you've got it. You can just like click on buttons and everything. And I will stay open for a little bit. I want to just say thank you, because without y'all, I wouldn't be doing this, right? Like if people didn't start showing up, because after the first 2 years of doing this and literally like only having a few people here and there show up, I kind of gave up on it and didn't do it for a few months. And then somebody said, aren't we supposed to have a live call every month? So I went back and I started doing it again. And I'm so grateful that I did because, wow, the friendships that I've created from this, the communities that I've built because of this, like I have people all over the world that I connect with because of this. And if it wasn't for you guys, that none of that would happen. I'm just so grateful to have met you, even though I don't think any of you I've met in person. Like everyone's virtual, but it's going to happen. Like we've got retreats coming up in 2023. We've got other stuff going on. And I want you to be a part of all of it. So stay in touch. You know, even if you don't join any of the other stuff we've got going on, shoot me an email, let me know what's going on, because I love to stay connected with you. So thank you for making this such a success for me. And I'm honored to be a part of this. So happy new moon, happy new year, happy new you. Namaste.
Thank you, Jana.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste.